I would say good morning, but it's also like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So good morning ish, I guess. So I please don't mind the noise that you hear in the background. If you hear my kids, that's one of my kids playing video games with her friends. She's kind of loud. So if you hear it, just, enjoy the fact that they're having fun and they feel, safe to be able to be loud and, take up space. So that's the case. Okay. So, why I wanted to get on here was because it, because of the chaos of the solar flares that are going on with the sun and the eclipse and the new moon energy and all of that, there was this really pivotal moment that my kids and I shared with each other. It was actually really profound. So, I mean, crazy, crazy, crazy cool. Okay. So, I have always had these kind of prophetic dreams, and um, more along the lines of not all of them are prophetic. Some of them are more um, subliminal, like I'm working through some of my blocks through my dreams and stuff like that. And so I've been writing out my dreams for the last 4 or 5 years, the ones that I can remember. So I've been journaling my dreams, and as I've been doing that, I've been openly discussing like my dreams with my children. And so when we talk about our dreams, it's really, really profound to kind of like share that kind of knowledge with our family, like to be vulnerable about what we've been dreaming about. Because some of them can be so creepy, crazy, and some of them can have some of them can be really scary, you know? And so my kids are also, I'm an astral traveler. My kids are also astral travelers. I know this. My son, my 13-year-old son, very, very much so, to the point of where he sleepwalks a lot, which is so funny because, like, he'll come in and have phone conversations with you, and you're just like, you don't remember this? So, um, and he doesn't, but um, his dreams that he talks about are so like they are so intriguing. He goes to some areas that are very intense. And so I just wanted to bring this up because so on Friday, I previously started to think about how our dreams and everything, like how my kids and I have had these like intense dreams and everything. And I had a premonition, pretty much what it was. And I was just thinking about how, intricate all of our dreams have been and how we all, in a way, are, seeing things that are all interconnected. They're all little pieces of the puzzle. And it just kind of had me thinking, that was actually really cool to think about. So here comes Saturday morning. Saturday morning was insane in the fact that my Friday night sleep, I my dreams seem to be kind of all over the place. They're very sporadic because my energy body is very tired, and so I will you know go into various different places. Like I skip around a lot. Like I bounce around in my dreams. I go to various different locations, and so it's kind of hard to piece them all together. I remembered my dream and I wrote it all down. Then I kind of started talking to my middle daughter, and we started talking about her dream. And I was just like, that's kind of crazy because there were things in her dream that correlated with my dream. Things that were like part of my dream, but a different view of my dream. And it was so crazy because I was just like, hold on a second. Okay, that connects with my dream. And we started just talking about it. Okay, after that, she goes and does her thing, and my son wakes up and comes out, and I told him how my daughter and I, how Danielle and I were talking about her dream and my dream and everything like that. And he's like, well, what happened in yours, like, and then then he's like, that's kind of crazy because like this is my dream. And he proceeds to tell me his dream. And I'm like, oh, crap. Oh, so everything in his dream was interconnected to both of our dreams. Like, so we all were in a very similar place, but at different areas, like different parts of it. And so it was so cool because my oldest daughter, she didn't have a dream, but that's also because of the fact that she's also kind of like, her in spirituality, she's held it away for a while. And she struggled with, believing and stuff like that because she had a lot of anger and a lot of pain that she had to work through to be able to even accept spirituality. Like, she believed in other things, like she believed in like there's something out there, but she didn't give it much faith, and so she's just now opening up to it and being more inclusive with it. So she has dreams. Don't get me wrong. She's told me about dreams, she said, but she's getting there. She's working her way through it, and I'm not going to push anything for it. But this is what I got from our dreams all combined together. Now, there's a message in our entire dreams. It's so profound, and I'll give you the message here at the end. I just want to talk a little bit about each part of the dream and the significance, because dreams are so vital for helping you understand things, that there's spirituality and significance in the things we dream. And so, okay, I wrote down a lot, so please bear with me. Okay, there was, see, this part I didn't quite discuss with my kids, because it didn't have any relevance, but I had to order food at this cafe, but write my order on a napkin, and there were 1s, 2s, and 3s of things. There was a specific number sequence, and I don't remember what the number sequence was because it didn't go in a specific order, but that's kind of like the importance was the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. Then I was, okay, now this is where the dream relates, okay? This is where I believe the message begins, which actually relates to the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s as well. I'll get to that. So then I was with a bunch of people that are from my past, my family, my ex-husband, friends that were not really friends, my mother, like uncle, like all of these people. And we were in the backyard of a house, and I broke the sliding screen door, and it all came falling down. And then it fell to the ground. And I was trying to get out of there. So houses are very symbolic of like ourselves. Like when you dream of a house, you're dreaming of your foundation, yourself. Like that's your subconscious in a way. And each room has significance as well. Just heads up on that one. So I was trying to get out of there, and I was able to get away, and I went and I was able to like get into this like hotel, like this hotel place. And at this hotel, which now I learned it's not a hotel, it was a company, like it was a business. I thought it was a hotel. I thought it was. That's what it felt like. I was at a hotel and I was taking a shower. Okay, now it was really weird because I had to step up these tile stairs to get to the shower. And then I had to, when I was up in that shower, I was looking down and the steps went down into like the basement. So, I was in the shower and the shower was very dirty. But I still stayed in the shower. Like I was in the shower. And at this is gonna sound embarrassing, but in the shower, I felt this sudden urge when I looked down the stairs, and I was looking deep down the stairs into the darkness. I felt this sudden urge to pee. Now, this is something that I've learned over time, that whenever you're looking down any stairs in your dreams, when you go down in your dreams, you are going into your subconscious. So going down is your subconscious, and going up is to your higher self, is to like other realms. That's more of the astral. So I was going up in the shower, but looking down into my subconscious. And when you go to the bathroom in dreams, that's you releasing things that you no longer need. It's you letting go of things. So in the dream, it was me letting go of some subconscious things that I had been working through in my dream. Okay, so I had to use the restroom, and I was washing myself and trying to clean myself in the shower, even though it was still kind of dirty in the shower. But that was neither here nor there. Then after that, I went into this like chaos of an office. And what I mean by like chaos of an office, it was like they were all like, there was a whole bunch of papers all over the place. There was a bunch of elderly people. I can't say the exact age, like white hair kind of elderly. And they're all rushing around, and they were all, I was standing there and I was just watching it play. And they were answering phones, and they were like grabbing papers and putting them places. And it was utter chaos. It was utter chaos in the middle of everything. And so it was the thing that I got, the message that I got personally from my dream. This is just my part of the dream. We're going to get to the other parts because there's more. But the part of my dream that I got was the fact that, okay, cleanse and release and repeat. To keep cleansing yourself and letting things go. This is part of the process. As we are elevating, you're having to let go of the things that you no longer resonate with the things that you have let go. Keep doing that over and over and over. Like set that as a constant intention, and do something internal and external to show that you are. So what I mean by that is like, this is where you're doing the work to work through those mother wounds, those father wounds, those internal wounds that you have been holding on to and carrying for so long. Keep working on those. Keep cleansing yourself. Keep doing spiritual cleanses, going out in nature. Keep doing activities, whatever it may be. Just keep doing what you're doing. Doing smoke cleansing, doing sound baths, whatever it may be. Keep cleansing yourself, but also keep doing the internal work, talking to a therapist, talking to friends, joining groups that are doing internal work as well in safe rooms. Whatever it may be, keep doing it. And keep cleansing and releasing and repeating. Keep doing it. Those that are doing it, you're doing a good job. You're doing the work. Like, don't stop. Seriously. It feels monotonous right now. It does. And it feels like it's never going to end. I get that. I truly, truly get that, because I'm right there in that same boat with you. We're rowing together. Freaking row, row, row your boat all the way. But it's working. It's working. We're getting somewhere. I promise we're getting somewhere, okay? And the external, what I mean by that is like, if you have things that you no longer need anymore, that you thought, hey, I could never live without this, and then you like haven't used it in like a year, or you just you don't even know why you own it anymore. I feel like it's time to just get rid of it, donate it, sell it, whatever you may need to do, but just let it go. Like, why is it holding up space in like your home? Just let it go. Let me give you an example of this. Okay, so I have one of the first original Xboxes. I had, past tense now, because I had one of the original Xboxes. I've had that since I was a teenager. I've carried that with me for so long. Did I ever really play that game a whole hell of a lot? No. I did not use that thing nearly as much as I wanted to, or even thought that I was going to. But I have carried that since teenage years, all up until just this last week on Friday. Friday, I was just like, I don't need this anymore. Why am I carrying this? Why do I have it holding up and taking up space in my house? It is just sitting there. It's sitting there. It's not getting used. It hasn't been used. It hasn't been used in flippin' years. And so I went and I took it to the pawn shop and I was like, let's see if I can get anything from it. It can't hurt. Took it in there. I got $20 for it, which, I'm grateful that I got anything from it because, hey, $20 is $20. But the funny thing was that when I gave it to him, and on the back of it was, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But in the military, when they pack up your stuff to move, they will put this little sticker on everything. It's a number for your specific move. And so it's required. And on there was one of those stickers. It hit me, like it floored me, because I'm like, how many times has this thing moved with me and I didn't get rid of it? Why have I been holding on to this? Why have I been holding on to this box that I don't use for so long? Like, it just, those moments where you're just like, I can't understand why there's no actual connection as to why I've had this for so long. And so I'm saying do the external because today I'm going to be dragging my kids, even though they really don't want to do it. We're going to go through and we're going to get rid of a bunch of stuff. We're going to go through the bookshelves. We're going to go through their stuff because they're not here all the time. So they're going to go through their stuff and they're going to get rid of whatever they don't want anymore, what they don't play with anymore, things that they don't need anymore. And I'm going to go through my stuff and I'm going to do the same thing because it's time to just, as you do the internal work, you start to see things on the external that you don't need anymore, that you can live without because you've been living without it for a long time anyways. But that's part of that dream. Okay, so that's where my dream comes in. Okay, next is my daughter's dream, Danielle. Her dream, and I'll add more to it as we go along, and because we discovered more throughout the day yesterday of the dream as we spoke about it, so I'm glad that I spoke about it now. Just saying. Okay, so Danielle's dream is about, so her and my oldest daughter were at some office taking papers. Like they were at a big company, and they were taking paper forms from people. Like people were coming in and turning in their papers and turning in their forms, and on the forms were the pictures of the people. Like, so it was the face of the people that's what their forms were. And my daughter and Emma, my two daughters, were approving them. They were taking the papers and then they were approving of them. They were agreeing to them. And then they were taking these forms and they were turning them in to the main temple to be approved. So they were going through like an approval process, And so she said there were a lot of people and they were constantly coming in. They were just like, it was a nonstop thing. And so lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people were coming. Okay. Later on, later on, well, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to stop and talk about that real quick. So what I got from that one is that when we were discussing this, I realized that my dream is connected to that one because I was at a part where the office was chaotic and crazy, where they had all of the forms and they had all the forms there and they were taking calls and making calls and they were like working through all of these forms. She was at the very early process, the beginning process of where they were accepting the forms and then they were taking them and they were stamping them with approval and sending them up. So what I got from that one is the fact that your manifestations and your wants, your dreams, everything that you are wanting, everything that you are trying to achieve, it's getting put in. They are getting approved. They are being approved. They are being sent up higher up. They are getting, they are getting approved of everything. Don't worry about that part, okay? It's all getting approved. Be patient, okay? I get that is a tough thing to say because I myself am so impatient because I myself am looking at this going, okay, so when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Like, I want to know, like, is it going to happen soon? Like I get impatient. And with that, whenever I ask that question to my guides, I always get everything in divine timing. Everything in divine timing. Sometimes my human self is like, I hate that answer because, I want it now. But at the same time, I know that how intricately everything has to work out with little tiny things in different places. There are so many different people that need to be in specific exact locations, places. Everything has to be intricately, divinely woven together, okay? So, your requests are getting in, your requests are being approved. They're just going up the chain of command, okay? They're getting sent up, okay? To the higher ups, okay? It's a process. Like everything is a process, right? Everything's a process. So, they're getting approved, but it's not going to be like it goes to one person and that person's like, "Okay, cool. Yeah. You're good to go." That's not the case. It's multiple different layers. Multiple layers, okay? Now, this is where my son's dream really solidifies it, okay? This is where he solidifies it even harder. Like, my son surprises me so much. Like, that little boy, I know, he goes places that intrigue the crap out of me because they're so cool. Because, like, he has some dreams that I'm like, we have got to write all of these down. But, okay, this is where his dream comes in, and it's intense. So this is where things get really, really cool. Okay, so I love when he tells his dreams because he has got an amazing vocabulary, and so he can tell you the feelings and, like, everything. So I wrote a lot for his, so please bear with me on that one. So, okay. So his dream is, he has this orb dream that has been kind of consistent, that it's, there's always some kind of orb that is located in his dream in some place. He was, the last one that he had with this orb was a dream that when he was in the room, because him and his sisters, all three of them share a bedroom right now because I have 2 bedrooms in the condo that I live in. And part of the dream was that he was sleeping and he got up and there was the orb on the desk in the corner of the room that he walked over to, and he touched this orb, and like all these shadow figures ran away. Okay, so that was like a prior dream. So in this dream, there were shadow people as well, but it's really different. Okay, so in this dream, he walks out a door, and he can hear the muffled noises of the office, like people in the background, of like chaos, like busyness in the background. And he's walking down this hall, and as he's walking down this hall, he sees all these eyes on the walls, and they're looking at him, like all of these eyes. And they're like, when he goes to look at them, they disappear. But whenever he looks away and he, keeps moving forward, the eyes are looking at him still. He can see him in the corner of his eyes, which later on, as we discuss this, because something that a lot of people, that if you follow angelology, I don't know if that's the actual term for it, but if you study the levels of the angel realms and everything like that, seraphim are the angels that have the eyes, that are the ones that are always watching, and they serve right underneath God, which goes in part where he is in his dream, because he was on the very top floor of this big building, and so that's where the angel eyes were. And so seraphim, just a heads up, Archangel Sandalphon is the ruler, the leader, the ruler of the seraphim. He is the one that runs and is in charge of those angels. And actually, also Sandalphon is the archangel as well to the earth realm as well, because he has deep ties with Mother Earth and with her realm. So, sorry. Whew. I get chills. Sorry. Full body chills. Like, that's my confirmation, is when I get the... Ugh. So, now, that's how I know I'm on the right track, whenever my guides are giving me that. And I'm like, ooh, okay, I touched on a spot. Okay, so he's walking down the hall, and he's seeing the angels, and he's seeing the eyes. And he gets to this door, and when he gets to the door, there are two shadow people standing in front of the door. And this is where he's going up the stairs and everything, and he's trying to get through these two shadow people. And these two shadow people, he said that whenever when he got to them, what was it? They were blocking the exit door. So he's the two shadow people, whenever he tries to get through them, it's like a heavy. He said it was very heavy, like the whole weight of the world was falling, like was crushing him down, like gravity was increasing and it was pulling him down. And he couldn't, he felt slow, like he couldn't quite move like he wanted to, and he was able to push past them, and he was able to break through the door and slam the door behind him. And he ran through the door and onto the roof, and right there on the rooftop, he's on the roof of the building, and right as he's up there on the rooftop, there were people that looked alive but were worn out to death. Like he said even at one point he walked up to one of the people and he looked him in the face, and he didn't think that they were breathing. Like he had to check to make sure that they were breathing, because they looked like they were just worn out to death. And which makes sense, because those that are at the higher rankings of the spiritual realm are putting in a lot of work, are doing a lot. And they are also really worn out, and they are very, very much like worn out to death, pretty much. That's the best way to like explain it. And so, as he gets there, he hears behind him the door shaking and trying to, like, he heard it slam open. So he runs to the edge of the building, on over to the very edge, and he looks back, and there's nothing there. Like, the people are gone, the shadow figures are gone, nobody's there. And so then he turns and he looks back down over the edge. And he said that when he looked over the edge, it was like a culmination of his his dreams. Like, a lot of, like, not, I don't know if it was all or just a lot of his past dreams were all out there, just all over the place, like in various different locations throughout the ground area of what is the ground. And so he looks down, and when he looks down, okay, so everything was kind of unstable and shaky, is what he was saying about the dreams and about everything. But whenever he, there was something over the edge, and it was trying to drag him down, and it was, he was holding on to the edge, but this thing that was trying to drag him over the edge was like a shadow figure, but not. Okay, so he said that this shadow figure was different. It was a shadow figure, but made up of primary colors. And they were consistently changing, like, every second between the primary colors. The figure was different, and it spoke, he said, because not any of the shadow figures ever spoke. This one, he said, this one, he felt a sense of relief, like a happy cry. He felt relieved that this one, like, he was waiting for this one to come. And there was also this pent-up anger for not being saved sooner, which I can so relate to that, because I have had all this pent-up anger that I have been feeling as a collective, that people are so frustrated and so that they're in situations that they don't want to be in, and they feel like they can't get out of these situations. And so there's just like this pent up anger, and I myself have thought it numerous times, because of where I've gone through some serious stuff, and I'm like, how come nobody saved me? How come nobody came to get me sooner? And that has been a message that I have been, like, kind of hearing a lot. I wasn't sure if it's a whole collective thing or if it was just internally me. Come to find out that I feel like it's a collective thing, just based off of his dream alone. So, he said the energy felt familiar, and like he knew them. And so they're falling from the rooftop, from the very top, all the way down. And he's like reliving every single prior dream, like it's like rushing past him. He's not going into every single one, it's just kind of moving past him. Now, as he's going down, he's looking through the windows of this big office building, and he's seeing, like, the shadows inside the office building. He's seeing all the different, he's not making out like specific people, but he's seeing them throughout the thing. Okay. And so, looking through the windows of the office tower and seeing the shadow people rushing around with faces of like anger and relief is what he said. Like he could feel and see the anger and relief, but he couldn't make out like actual like faces. Just that's what he could see on their faces. So he's saying, okay. He said that they are trying to save, but have to keep their against their will to appease a higher up. Okay, so what that was is like there's anger and relief coming from these people, from these shadows in this office building, because they want, like, our guides, our people, everybody, they all want to help us. You have to realize this. Like, your guides, your guardians, the angels, the, fae, the gods, the goddesses, all of these energies, the elementals, every single one of them, they want to do more. But it's not time yet. They can't. Because it's God's will. It is divine timing. It is God that decides when things happen as they happen. Divine timing. The whole reason behind divine timing is that everything has to happen at an exact moment, at an exact time, at an exact area to create that domino effect of things that are going to happen. And so they want more than anything to do what they can, but they're not allowed to. Sometimes we have to stay in certain situations for a specific reason. We may not know what it is, and that's okay. Sometimes we always try so hard to understand what it is, and sometimes we aren't meant to know. Eventually, sometimes those answers get revealed to you at the very end, and you're like, oh, that makes so much more sense now. Huh, go figure. I didn't think of it. I didn't see it until now. That's okay. That's where the trust comes in. That's where you have to have faith that everything is going to play out perfectly. Okay? It is going to be the most monumental, most beautiful, orchestrated symphony. And it's going to be magnificent. We just have to be patient. So, that's where that part comes in. Now, he said, the bottom floor, so as he's falling, he's looking down, and he sees that the bottom floor has a white figure and a gray figure, which he later explains is my two daughters. The white figure is Danielle, and the gray figure is my daughter Emma. White because she is more involved in spirituality and more open to it. The gray is because of the fact that she's opening up to it and everything like that. She's becoming more, involved in it. And I need to drink some coffee because my mouth is starting to get dry. But, so he sees a white and a gray figure, and they're down at the bottom, and there's a bunch of people all around at the very bottom floor, and they're all like rushing around and everything like that, and the white and gray figure are in charge, and they're taking papers and stuff like that, and they're dealing with all the chaos of down below. And then then he says that he remembered, because I asked him, I was like, so where was the orb in this dream? Like, where were you talking about? And he was like, okay, so he said, as he was falling, it was about the middle floor. In the middle floor, the orb was on a shadow figure's head in the middle office. And the middle office was where all the chaos was happening. So realize right now, things haven't reached the top floor yet. So this is what the dream means, is that we're like right at the middle floor. Chaos is going on in the middle floor, and everything is being organized and sent away and put, and all of that. The middle floor is where the orb was, and it was on a shadow person's head. And he said that there was a lot of chaos happening in that one. The figure looked at him and remembered him, which this is where we've come to the conclusion, and we realized that this is where I was located. I was that shadow figure that he saw with the orb over their head. I was that person standing there amidst all the chaos and, organizing the chaos and all of that. And he said that at that point, there was a dream that wasn't his dream. Because he's falling and he's getting all these old dreams, like kind of going past him. But he said that there was a dream that wasn't his dream. And when he started talking about it, it triggered where I have had feelings and dreams and memories coming up consistently over it. He said it was a dream of a field with a bike and a stream and a dark, like, warehouse, dark house, dark shack, something that wasn't too big, lit up with a figure in it. Okay. Now, when he started talking about this, it reminded me of when I was very young, when it was nice outside, I went out and played a lot because my house was not a happy house. It was not a safe home. And so I spent a lot of my time outdoors if I could. My parents did not care where I was. As long as I came home for dinner, it didn't matter. So there was this one area, and it was behind the elementary that I went to. And now it's a housing community. But back then, when I was younger, it was a field. It wasn't a big field. It was a pretty small one, but it was big enough to go play in. And so there was this fence that you could climb over or climb through. And I would ride my bike over there and lay my bike down, and I would climb through the fence, and there was a canal that went across that you could cross over or play in, depending on the time. That was the runoff canal from the mountains and everything like that. And so, like, this little canal, and I used to go play in that backfield, and that backfield had a shed, a shack, a small house, something like that, that I used to play around. But the shed I didn't really go near because there was something that felt off about it, something that felt uncomfortable. I couldn't put my finger on it back then, but I would go play back there, and I used to play in that field all the time because and this is me being, transparent about the things that I believe in and things that I see, I would go play with the Fae back there. I would go play with the Fae and the shadow people back in that field because that's the only really friends that I kind of had at the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a couple of, it wasn't until like fifth grade. It wasn't until fifth grade that I actually was able to make any friends. So there weren't really any in the neighborhood, especially since I was, I live in Utah, and my family was not LDS, so it was something that, like, LDS families and, non-LDS families kind of, you didn't really play well. Like, you didn't play with each other, like, so I didn't really have very many friends that I could play with. So I would go play by myself. I would go play with my imaginary friends. That's the spirits and everything like that. I thought they were, I thought everybody could see that kind of stuff. I didn't know that that was not uncommon until now, when more people are actually starting to see it. And I'm like, see, I knew it. I'm not crazy. But I used to go play at the Fae back there. And in his dream, he said that he saw little white orbs, little white orb lights flying up to the floor with all the chaos. That they were like kind of whizzing past him all the way up to the floor with the chaos. And so he didn't realize what that meant. But for me, what that meant was that I have had a lot of thoughts about this, because of the fact that with those memories coming up, that was a time back when I had no fear. When I was young, I went door to door to every single house in the neighborhood, and I knocked on the door and asked if they had anybody my age that I could play with. I had no fear. Like, I was not afraid of anything, and I had some of the most absolute faith in the universe, in God, in the spiritual realms, because I knew that they were protecting me. I was open to anything and everything, and fearless and free. I would just play freely. So this is a message as well, in that context of, amidst all the chaos that is going on, go back to that part of you that believes in everything, that has that childlike wonder, and just play. Be a kid still. It's okay to be a kid still. You don't always have to be an adult. Yes, sometimes, but not always. And the things that you once believed in, believe in them wholeheartedly, like you once did as a child. So, that was part of his dream. But then this is where it gets a little bit kind of funny, is because of the fact that when he hit the ground, he woke up in his dream, and then woke up in real life, which is actually really funny, because like, when it comes to astral travel, if you are woken up suddenly, like if you have a falling dream and you hit the ground hard, or you like fall too quickly and your body snaps back, or your astral spiritual body snaps back into your 3D body, your physical body, you won't remember the dream. Like if you are woken up suddenly, if you fall too quickly, you won't remember the dream. So his guides made sure that he fell and landed softly, so that he could wake up softly, so that he could remember all of that happening in his dream. And so it was really cool, because then that's why sometimes we don't remember our dreams, is because of the fact that having an alarm sometimes will jolt you out, and you won't remember what you were just dreaming about. So just a little FYI on there. Then as we were talking about all of this, I know this is long, but it has so much relevance to everything. Like when I heard this, I was like, oh my God, I got to share this. So then when we were talking about the seraphim and all of that, my middle daughter, Danielle, was like, what? Like, I want to hear this. Like, she's done a lot of research in that area. Like, she was curious about all of that. And so then talking about it, she recalled a little bit more of her dream, where a woman asked for a restroom and then said it wasn't clean. So my oldest daughter sent her to go clean that bathroom. And then later the woman came back and said, thank you. So with that, realize that what I'm getting from all of this, all this chaos, all this crazy, is the fact that the guides, the angels, the even people here in the astral realm, people that are in these bodies at night when they go into the astral realms and everything like that, are doing their spiritual work. They are cleansing and clearing things from other people. They are helping take your orders and taking, what you want and sending it up. These are people, like, it's not just like me and my kids. Like, everybody's doing it. Everybody is playing an intricate part. So here in our little, physical bodies, it's gonna be slower and it's gonna take time. So, during that time, keep doing the work. Keep doing the work and feeling the feelings and all of that, but also playing, like, get back to that childlike wonder. Believe in everything and anything. These are such intricate parts that are playing within this whole thing, that if we all continue to keep helping one another, if we all continue to be patient and trust the process, and that we know that every single thing, every being, every energy, everything is working together. They're all doing their part. They're all doing what they can with what they can, because they can only do so much. Remember, it's up to God. It's up to the higher power, the main big honcho, like that main like person, guy or girl, whatever you want to choose. I personally say male, masculine energy. He is in charge. He has the final say. He is the big boss. Okay? So just be patient. Everything's working out. I promise you. They are doing all that they can with all that they got. You keep doing all that you can do. You keep putting in the reps. You keep putting in the effort. You keep putting in the hard work. And it is going to happen. It's all coming together. It's going to be okay. Okay? So I just wanted to share this message because it was so profound to me, especially the fact that my kids and I all had a dream interconnected together that was all kind of like a piece of the puzzle, that once we came together and we pieced it together, it created this gorgeous picture, this like huge, beautiful mosaic of a message that I can share with you guys. And I believe that it was meant for us to get this message, to reassure people that it's all going according to plan. Everything is happening. Just be patient, please. It's going to take some time. And during that time, keep working on yourself. Keep working on becoming the best version of yourself that you can be, while you also take time to be a kid and enjoy and have fun and play and believe and trust and all of that. Okay? So I have now to go and start making dinner with my kids, and because we're making potato soup and fresh bread. So this is going to be fun. And also to go clear out some stuff out of our house that we don't need anymore, because, it's just taking up space and somebody else might want it more than we do because we're not using it. So I'm going to go do that. And I want to say that I love you all, and have faith, have fun, and just be blessed. You're doing amazing, okay? I love you.